Faith has shaped human history, culture, and individual lives for millennia, offering solace, meaning, and community. Yet, it has a shadow side, moments and movements where belief has fueled violence, oppression, and ethical quandaries. This exploration delves into the complex and sometimes disturbing facets of religious faith, examining its historical, ethical, psychological, and future dimensions. From the bloodshed of the Crusades to the rise of secularism, we uncover the darker threads of faith while acknowledging its potential for good. This nuanced journey invites critical reflection on belief, its impact, and its place in a diverse world. The historical shadow of faith. Religious persecution. Crusades and Inquisition. The Crusades 1096–1291 were a series of holy wars launched by European Christians to reclaim Jerusalem, resulting in widespread violence. Armies slaughtered Muslim, Jewish, and even Christian communities, often with papal sanction. The Fourth Crusade, 1204, saw Christians sacking Constantinople, a fellow Christian city, exposing faith's capacity for betrayal. The Spanish Inquisition, 1478–1834, hunted heretics, Jews, and Muslims, using torture and execution to enforce Catholic orthodoxy. Over 150,000 people faced trials, with thousands killed, showcasing how faith could justify cruelty in the name of purity, power structures, and inequality. Religious institutions have historically propped up power hierarchies. The Catholic Church in medieval Europe wielded immense control, owning vast lands and influencing monarchs, often at the expense of the poor. It endorsed practices like indulgences, where salvation was sold, deepening social divides. Faith has also been used to oppress marginalized groups. Women were branded witches in the 16th to 17th centuries, with tens of thousands executed based on religious zeal. Similarly, colonial powers justified slavery and indigenous displacement by citing divine mandates, embedding discrimination within religious frameworks. Faith's impact on societal development. Religious doctrines shaped medieval Europe's worldview, often stifling progress. The Church's geocentric model clashed with emerging scientific ideas, leading to Galileo's house arrest in 1633 for advocating heliocentrism. Yet, faith also preserved knowledge through monastic scriptoria and inspired art and architecture, like Gothic cathedrals. The tension between doctrine and inquiry slowed scientific advancement, but also sparked debates that eventually birthed the Enlightenment. Understanding this duality reveals faith's complex role in human progress. The ethics of belief systems. Ethical dilemmas in teachings. Certain religious teachings clash with modern human rights. Some interpretations of sacred texts endorse violence. Old Testament calls for stoning adulterers, while certain hadiths justify jihad in specific contexts. These have been used to excuse honor killings or terrorism, raising questions about literalism versus context. Discrimination also persists. Some faiths restrict women's roles or condemn homosexuality, creating tension with equality principles. Balancing respect for belief with universal rights remains a global challenge. Religious extremism. Extremism turns faith into a weapon. Historical examples include the Anabaptist uprising in Münster, 1534–1535, where radical Protestants seized the city, leading to violent suppression. Religious institutions and ethical progress. Not all religious efforts fuel conflict. Interfaith organizations like the Parliament of the World's Religions foster dialogue, promoting peace. Groups like the Quakers have long advocated social justice, opposing slavery as early as the 17th century. Modern initiatives, such as Islamic Relief, provide global humanitarian aid, showing faith's potential to address ethical challenges. These efforts highlight the capacity for religious communities to evolve and contribute positively. The psychology of faith and belief. Psychological foundations. Faith often arises from cognitive biases and emotional needs. Confirmation bias leads believers to seek evidence supporting their views, while the need for belonging ties individuals to religious communities. Studies show that religious belief activates brain reward centers, similar to love or music, explaining its emotional pull. Social influences, like family or culture, further shape beliefs. 90% of people adopt their parents' religion. These factors reveal why faith persists, even amid secular challenges. Faith and well-being. Faith can boost mental health, offering purpose and community. A 2019 study found that religious people report 20% higher life satisfaction than non-religious peers. However, rigid beliefs can harm. Scrupulosity, an OCD-like condition tied to religious guilt, affects some believers. Leaving a faith can also trigger identity crises or social ostracism, as seen in ex-Mormon or ex-Muslim communities. Faith's psychological impact is thus a double-edged sword. Doubt and secular challenges. Religious doubt is increasingly common in secular societies. In the UK, 53% of people identified as non-religious in a 2020 survey, reflecting a shift from traditional faith. Doubt can spark existential crises, but also growth. Philosophers like Kierkegaard argued that wrestling with uncertainty strengthens personal conviction. Navigating faith in a secular world requires balancing personal beliefs with pluralistic realities, a challenge for both individuals and institutions. The future of faith. Rise of secularism. Secularism is reshaping belief. In Europe, church attendance has plummeted. Only 10% of Britons regularly attend services, down from 50% in the 1960s. This reflects broader trends. Science, individualism, and pluralism challenge traditional doctrines. Yet, secularism doesn't erase spiritual hunger, as seen in the rise of nones, people unaffiliated but often spiritual. Faith must adapt to remain relevant in this landscape. New spiritual movements, new practices are filling the gap. Mindfulness, rooted in Buddhist meditation, has surged, with 15% of UK adults practicing it regularly by 2020. Neo-paganism, like Wicca, grows among those seeking nature-based spirituality, with over 70,000 UK adherents in 2021. These movements emphasize personal experience over dogma, suggesting a future where faith is more fluid and individualized. Interfaith collaboration. Faith communities are increasingly collaborating on global issues. The 2015 Paris Climate Agreement saw religious leaders, from Pope Francis to Buddhist monks, advocate for environmental action. Interfaith initiatives also tackle poverty. Religions for Peace has mobilized millions for humanitarian causes. Such cooperation could redefine faith's role, fostering unity over division in addressing humanity's shared challenges. Conclusion. A nuanced perspective. Faith is a paradox, capable of inspiring profound good and unspeakable harm. Its history is stained with violence and oppression, yet it has also driven art, charity, and justice. Ethically, it poses dilemmas, but also offers solutions through dialogue and reform. Psychologically, it shapes identity, for better or worse. As secularism rises, faith evolves, with new movements and collaborations pointing to a pluralistic future. This exploration urges critical reflection on personal beliefs and respectful engagement with others' faiths. Embracing diversity and understanding can bridge divides, ensuring faith remains a force for connection rather than conflict.